It's LoudPacc P. You checking out HipHopSince1987.com. Log on.
Shout my hip-hop since 1987 niggas. HipHopSince1987.com.
What's good? It's your boy Rick Dange here with a friend of mine that you definitely need to get familiar with. If you haven't heard of him, you're going to be hearing a lot from him 2020 going into 2021. My man LoudPacc P. What's good with you, bro?
What's up, man? What's good?
I'm chilling, man. Haven't run into you in a little bit, but it's always good when I run into people that I personally know. Make the interview flow just that much better, man. Yeah. This is the first time you actually been interviewed by me. So for the people that don't know you, tell them how you got your name and tell them where you're from.
I'm from Philly, you know what I mean? I was formerly known as Wiz P. You know, I was in a couple groups when I first started. That was the name I chose, you know what I mean? Wiz being because my mom always said I thought I knew everything, so, you know, that was short for Wizard.
Right.
And P is for my, you know, the initial on my government, so, you know, that's how I got the Wiz P. But I changed the LoudPacc because I was just I was on a, as I say, a new space in life, you know what I mean, on a new venture, and I just wanted to detach everything from what I had prior going on.
Right.
So, you know, just naturally moving around and being around a LoudPacc, most people know I smoke gas, you know what I'm saying?
Got the big bags.
You know, shout out to the gas we cook, you know what I mean? But, they always say like, yo, you always got the LoudPacc, man. Like, where it's at? Like, I know you know, because they know I smoke good. I like premium shit. So, LoudPacc just was something that stuck with me. People just started calling me that just on the naturals. You know what I mean? So, I went to the LoudPacc P. Okay. And here we are. You know what I mean?
Okay. Definitely got the LoudPacc floating around the room right now. Now, you're from Philly. What was your life like growing up here in Philadelphia?
Man, it was you know, it was a rough come up, like, you know, like most of us that grew up in a rough city, you know what I mean? I grew up in a household with my mother and my father, you know what I'm saying, my stepfather, but if I wouldn't have just told you that, you wouldn't know that.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? That's my real father.
Right.
You know what I mean? My real pop, he was on some nut shit just to shorten it up. And you know, my folks, they worked, tried to make ends meet, you know what I'm saying? I had other siblings, you know what I'm saying? So, you know how that go.
Right.
I grew up in Logan section of Philadelphia. You know what I mean? That's considered almost like the start of North Philly. You know what I mean? When you start moving down north, Logan is going to be the first neighborhood before you hit Erie Avenue and all that. So, you know, it was the crack was out and all that. When we came up, you know, we seen all that. So it was just like your normal, what people would say, like your normal upcoming. If you wasn't in a house that was rich, you know what I'm saying, then you was struggling like everybody else, you know what I mean?
Okay, now, we were talking off camera that, I mean, we known each other for a decade plus, basically, and just to make it in Philadelphia, 10-year gaps of running into people or whatever and still being around is a blessing in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, you're definitely from Philly, but I see you in New York all the time.
Right.
What's your connection to New York City?
All right, so what's crazy about this is I've always been connected to New York.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My pop, that I was just telling you about my step-pop, he used to take me to New York when I was young with me. I had rollerblades and shit.
Okay.
He let me rollerblade all through Central Park and all that. I had family up there, so, you know, he would just take me through. I had family in Flatbush, you know what I mean? Shout out my cousin Chris and them. I got folks in the Bronx, you know what I mean? So I was just always traveling back and forth to New York. And then what made me just started being up there now a lot is that my folks, they already up there. I'm up there with them a lot, you know what I mean? And in Philly, it really ain't nothing going on the scene as far as like, you don't get no love, you don't get no support. Everybody is like trying to do them, so they focus on themselves so much that they don't have time to show love to nobody else.
Okay.
And when I go up there, it's always love.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Even when I shot one of my videos, like, I had a few people be like, damn, why you ain't shoot it down the block? Now, mind you, like you said, I've been around for 10 plus years doing
Right,
this
that
shit.
block video been shot.
I done shot the block video. And when I shoot the block video, 4 niggas come out.
Right.
But when I go up top and I say I'm shooting a video, the whole projects come out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just the blue carpet treatment, the whole fucking run. Like, you know what I mean? The love is for real. It's different. You know what I mean? So my strategy was like, all right, well, look. They was feeling my music. I'm like, bam. I can just pretty much go up there and shoot my shit, and what's gonna make people start tuning in is like they gonna recognize everything in the video is New York. You know what I mean? The landmarks, the people in it. You know what I mean? The style and dress that the people in it is. But when they focus on me, I'm gonna be different.
Right.
I'm not gonna dress. I'm dressed like I'm from Philly. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the accent. You know what I mean? So my slang and the shit that I'm saying in the verse, they gonna be like, oh, that ain't nothing that we say. He from somewhere else. Who is this motherfucker? Once they start looking at the video and seeing where I'm at, they gonna be like, damn, he tied in. Who is this boy?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it just all gelled together. You know what I'm saying? And then most of the support that I get, my gang, my folks that show me the most love, that's where they at.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's where I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, shout out to them.
Let's take it back to the beginning a little bit. What actually influenced you to do music, and how did you actually start making music?
Man, I always been into music, but I wasn't rapping early. My folks played instruments. You know what I mean? My grandma was a singer. You know what I mean? My uncle, he was an artist. So I came from an artistic background.
Right.
One of my closest friends, you know, people, they familiar with the Batcave Studio.
For sure.
Rug is like family to me. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Rug.
Shout out to Rug. He knew me most of my life. You know what I'm saying? He actually one of the first people to ever put me in the studio.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But his little brother is my age. We tight. That's one of my closest friends. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Shout out to Anwar. You know what I mean? He booked right now, but we used to always like sit out on the porch and play beats and all that, and he used to always be writing. And you know, naturally, when you with your homie, you just doing shit too. So I'm writing, but I didn't take it serious at the time. Then one time I was at his brother crib. I was at Rug crib, and Rug was recording like Ice City, I think.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm out there. Rug had an arcade machine in his basement. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm a youngin', I'm playing the arcade machine. I'm probably like 13, 14, some shit like that. And he come outside and he like, yo, you want to get on this verse? And I'm like, for real? He like, yeah. He put me in the studio, put the headphones on for me, set the mic up. And the moment I rapped in that mic and I heard myself,
right,
I was like, damn, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's how I got into the rap shit. And then when I really started taking it serious, a lot of people don't know, like, me and Cass was cool.
Okay.
And we was going to the same school and shit. We was actually, you know, kicking it a lot, you know what I'm saying? He'd come over my spot, I'd go over his spot, you know what I'm saying? And he used to always just have me like with him, and he'd be going to the studio and shit like that. And I would like be writing my little shit, but my confidence wasn't in it, you know what I'm saying? And he used to be like, nah, that shit hot. You know what I'm saying? That shit hot, like, spit that shit. And then I came up in the era where when you battle, it was like, people wasn't rapping like they rapping now, where everybody just rapping.
Right.
Back then, more people was more scared to say they rap, because you gonna have somebody that be like, well, let's have a cipher right now. And then you got 10 niggas that's gonna spit, and everybody gonna give up their best. And some niggas don't be thinking they can hang in that. I came up in that shit. I done did staircases and hallways and blocks and alleys and all types of shit.
Right.
Trying to prove to niggas that I'm the nicest. You know what I'm saying? So, running with him, you know, Cass is Cass. He always been nice like that. One thing for sure, two things for certain. When we was like 15, that nigga was fucking on some other shit with it. You know what I'm saying? So, that had me on it. Ab, another person that's a friend of mine, people don't know I knew for like 15 plus years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, we went to school together. You know what I'm saying? And he was like damn near Milwaukee at the school. We went to Amy 6 and shit. And our joint was on like a college campus and shit. So like it was a bunch of land you had to walk to get to your classes and all that. And that was my guy. We used to just walk and talk, and we'd be spitting and all that shit. And them niggas is the niggas that was like, yo, you could really spit. And that's when I started taking that shit serious, you know what I mean? Okay. Shout out to them.
So you named a lot of staples in the Philadelphia history books. A.R.Ab, Cassidy, Rug. We were talking like off camera about how Philadelphia is definitely a rapping city. Mm-hmm. Everybody, fuck it, United States is a rapping place at this point. What separates you from other artists that are making music?
I ain't afraid to be myself. You know what I'm saying? The best thing that I think that I got going for me is that I just sound like me. When I play my music for people in different places, when I travel, and you know, they always say to me like, you don't sound like you from Philly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to me, I embrace that because I don't want to be put in a pool where you could just say I sound like a bunch of people. You know what I mean?
Stabilize.
I'm different. And I understand the 101 rule. Like, all the people in the game that's had phenomenal history or they excelled to the highest level that they could, they all sound like just them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You get one Wayne, you get one Drake, you get one Nas, one Jay, one Jeezy, one Tip. You ain't gonna have 3 tips. Like now you got 4 of the same people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it ain't to throw shade on what nobody do, but that don't work for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna rap all these years sounding like me to feel like, all right, I'm gonna change and sound like the person that's winning so I can try to get in. Right. Because that's all it is. That's why the styles change so many times because people mimic who winning.
Right.
When they sitting and they watching the person who winning, they like, all right, that shit working for him. I'm gonna start sounding like him. And then they start sounding like that person. And then they get a little recognition because, yeah, you sound close to the nigga who the nigga, but you never gonna always be that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Filled up.
So it's just like, I'm gonna be me. You know what I mean? And that's what separate me from everybody else. Okay. And I get busy in that studio. Like I was saying before to you, like a lot of people, the reason why I'm probably not as familiar with a lot of different favorites in people book is because I'm not the freestyle 16 every time on the scene board.
Right.
I done did that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can go on the YouTubes and find it on the highest platforms and gave it up. But now I'm trying to make some money. You know what I'm saying? So when it come to that studio shit, that's what I do. I write songs. I push the pen. When I hear them beats and all that, I create songs. I'm not writing no 48 just so you can say ah and ooh and all that shit. You know what I mean? Because I done did that. I think the people who, when you first starting to get your name out there, that's the shit you should do because you want to let niggas know like, yo, I can spit. I'm here.
Right.
But then once you reach that level of respect, as they may say, it's time to get some money. You know what I'm saying? And niggas is not buying that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? That shit only go but so far. You know what I mean? Can you be a person that's gonna get played on the radio every single day? You know what I mean? That's what I'm on, and that's what's gonna separate me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you've dropped a lot of projects. You dropped a lot of music. You know what I mean? I'm familiar with your catalog. But for the people that aren't familiar, what projects have you recently released, or what's the last song that you've recently released?
So the latest products I released, the first one I did was Lighter Fluid.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was hosted by Rug. Rug hosted that for me. It was a lot of your favorite artists was featured on there. After that, I did Tourette Syndrome.
Okay.
Tourette Syndrome was basically like, I was in a group, and at the time, we had some good momentum. And in the process of it, we had some things transpire where the ball was dropped, the momentum stopped.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, one, I had to figure out something that I could do to not let all the work we put in just diminish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was more so on some shit like I'm gonna just still put some music out so people can know that I'm still doing it. And the person that I knew that I always brung the people that I was with along so they'll be heard too. It'll look like we still working.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, I need to figure out something to call it. And all my peoples was like, yo, you should call it Tourette syndrome because you got this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I had moments where I might like do outbursts and you know what I'm saying? Because people don't know my personality, but I play around a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I be doing shit and people be like, yo, you got Tourette syndrome, bro.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So I came up with that. Like I'm gonna just call it that.
When did you drop that project?
I dropped that in like 2017.
Okay. So are you currently working on a new project right now?
I actually got one out now. I had dropped Tourette Syndrome 2 after that. Then I dropped a .5. But I didn't want to keep going in the Tourette Syndrome direction.
Right.
I was on something different. So I came out with the Blue Pill. That's what I got out now. You know what I mean? And that's on all platforms, streaming on everything. And the latest song I dropped was The Gang. You know, that's featuring Kiss on the intro. And I just recently put a video out for that. So, you know, that's what I'm pushing right now. I'm pushing the Blue Pill. You know what I mean? Shout out to Kiss.
Okay, now I was going to mention Kiss, but you just threw him out there, man. Jadakiss.
Big dog.
Legendary MC, one of the best to ever do it.
For sure.
Last week, he jumped on your Instagram Live and gave you a crazy cosign. And had you play a couple records for him, and he was going crazy. Like, he was really feeling that shit. You could tell it was genuine.
Right.
How did it feel to get co-signed by Jadakiss?
Oh man, it was a huge moment. Like I had said before, Philly got a strong connection to the Locks.
For sure.
You probably ain't gonna find too many people that don't like them. You know what I mean? And I grew up like a bunch of us listening to him. So what was crazy about the whole thing was the fact that when I listen to people, most of the rappers I like on the strength that they genuine. Because I get into your life. People tell me sometimes like, oh man, you gotta separate the two and this, that, and third. But that's just me. When I like somebody, I like to know that what I'm listening to is real. Like, if you tell me a deep story about, you know, your mom struggling or something like that, I don't want to find out later that that's not the truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I done connected to you. I might have knew somebody who mom went through the same thing and I felt that pain. And then it was just like you pulled trickery on me because you ain't really go through that shit.
Right.
So listening to the Locks, we always believed that they was just like what they say, quote unquote, real niggas. You know what I mean? I like to say genuine, but people say real niggas. You know what I mean? And when I basically, you know, got in tune with him and came across him, he showed me that everything that I listened to all them years was what I thought of him. Like the picture that I painted of him was the picture that he was by what he did for me because he was a man of his word. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that shit was great. And also knowing that he's a lyricist himself. Like, we think he one of the best that ever do it.
Definitely.
So he know heat when he hear it.
Definitely.
So for him to be giving me the energy that he was giving me, letting me know that I got the heat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shout out to Jadakiss, man. You know,
shout out to Kiss.
Definitely a friend to the site. I've run into him a million times, and he's definitely a genuine dude. I watched the live. I could tell he was being 100% honest with you.
Right.
Like you mentioned earlier, you actually have Jadakiss on one of your songs doing the intro for you.
Right.
How did that come together?
So pretty much, he asked me what I had going on. It was crazy how it happened. He had put a post up. I mean, tagged the hottest rapper XYZ. My man tagged me. When he tagged me, I hit him in the inbox. He asked me what I had going on. I sent him the work. He approved of it. Like, that shit heat. You know what I'm saying? So, once, you know, we had the conversation about how we was going to actually just he was basically telling me how he was gonna create the opportunity for me to, you know, make something happen. He was like, look, I'm gonna give you a drop. He said that'll give you some momentum, you know what I'm saying? Get the people talking and they'll respect it, you know what I mean? And we go from there. So that's how that happened. He asked me for real information, I sent it to him, and he was right on it. That's how, what I'm saying, like, I know how everything was going down. He was official. Even when I realized I was getting the drop,
Right.
I was about to switch the song.
Right.
I got another song that I'm dropping a video for, you know what I'm saying, No Looking Back. And I think that one, I'm like, that's the one that's gonna get the streets. So I sent that to him, and he like, oh, the song ain't the gang? Now, mind you, I've been having conversations with him for a couple weeks. So for him to remember that right off the bat, let me know he was really in tune with what I had going on, and he was like, basically keeping it 100 about what he was doing. You know what I mean? And he told me, like, man, the energy for the joint you doing is better for the way I'm gonna set it up. So you might as well rock with that. When I sat back and thought about it, I discussed it with my folks. They like, yeah, that's a better move. I'm like, fuck it, we gonna keep it the way we gonna keep it. And he ain't had to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real shit.
So,
and it was, the way he did it was perfect. You know what I mean? He did it perfect. I can't even. I couldn't have mapped it out any better than that.
That's on point, man.
right. Yeah, it's so respectable, man. Like,
it compliment.
you know what I mean? I appreciate it too. That was the other part about it. Like, I don't take things for granted. You know, you don't get opportunities so many often times in life. So I appreciated the whole gesture just in itself. You know what I mean?
Right. Now I know he said on the live that he's coming to Philly in like a month or so, and he plans on linking up with you. Are you gonna try and get another record done? You gonna try and do another version of the video? Like, what's the plan for when Kiss comes to the city?
So right now I can't really predict what's gonna happen, because one thing for sure, I'm always making records. You know what I mean? I actually made a few records in the past couple of days of me like talking to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm gonna keep making records. That's what I do best. That's what I was saying. Like, I do the studio thing. I push the
you're a
pen,
workhorse.
You know
you actually write raps.
Yeah,
like you hit the boot far.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? I'm gonna have records. Obviously, now that was transpiring, you know, getting up with him, I'm gonna start putting some not saying more heavy records together, but I'm gonna start gearing them towards the situation. Like, you know what I mean? My whole setup and how I'm gonna come about, you know what I mean, bringing this shit out for real, you know what I mean? And by him having the experience, I'm gonna pretty much just listen to what he got to say and what's the vision he got planned.
Right.
And I'm gonna move along with that, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's the perfect vet to soak up information from, so.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Let's talk a little bit about the music industry and the climate of Philadelphia right now. How do you feel about the climate of the city and the climate of the music industry of the city right now?
Man.
There's some hot dudes out there.
I mean, it's a lot of artists out right now. Philly is a hot spot. Philly always is a hot spot, but it seemed like Philly never make it to the next level as far as like multiple artists. You know what I'm saying? We get one artist signed maybe every couple years or whatever, where the way that we populated with talent, it should be a lot more signings than that. You know
Definitely.
what I'm saying? With the industry, I really don't have too much knowledge to speak on that, because I don't know what they got going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to feel my way and you know what I mean, find out what would be a good situation for myself. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, always the best one, but I mean, the game seems like it's being saturated with the same sound.
Right.
You feel me? So I think that I can come with something different, you know what I mean, that people will like and respect and tune into, and you know, I can make something happen for myself. You know what I mean? Have my own lane. You know what I mean? And there's nothing better than having your own lane.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Now, you sent me a bunch of fire. You sent me like 3 crazy videos. One of them was like a little movie almost. What's the next thing that you plan on releasing?
So I'm gonna release the video No Looking Back.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was shot by ADR Visuals.
Okay.
young boy nasty, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Cuz.
Shout out to him, you know what I mean? He came up New York for me on that, and got right to work. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the vision was his and my man Superstar Chips, you know what I mean? Shout out to Chips. They came up with the vision for it, and he put it together.
Yeah, that joint's fire.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna drop that. I figure by the time I drop that, they gonna understand like how I'm coming with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I got some, I got some songs like I get outside the box. Like I'm not just a street rapper. Right. I could do that shit with my eyes closed. I lived that. I came up. I had that life. You know what I'm saying? So I could rap about that all day.
Right.
But I could switch it up too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what also gonna separate me from the norm. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be able to give it up in all different types of genres and have different types of sound.
Right.
You know what I mean? And make it happen.
Okay. Now, for the people that's watching this that want to get in tune with you on social media, give them all your handles: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, anything you got. Let them know.
All right. So, oh yeah. Speaking of SoundCloud, I'm on SoundCloud. I just gave out a free, if you want to call it an EP or a mixtape, whatever. It was 11 songs.
Okay.
I dropped that in the weight of the Blue Pill coming out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's on SoundCloud under LoudPacc P. Everything pretty much LoudPacc P.
Okay.
My Instagram is at LoudPacc P, LoudPacc_P.
Okay.
You know what I mean? My Twitter, same thing at LoudPacc P. YouTube, same thing. You know what I mean? You can find me. I keep it simple, so you don't gotta be jumping all around trying to figure out where you at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm LoudPacc P everything. But yeah, you can find all that stuff streaming on all your platforms, whatever you listen to, whether it's on Amazon or Google Play or Spotify, Apple, whatever you like, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Pandora, iHeartRadio, I'm all over.
Okay, so there's no reason that after people watch this interview, when they ready to tune in, they can go to whatever they tune into and just put LoudPacc P in there and something.
LoudPacc P, the Blue Pill. It's gonna come right up. You know what I'm saying?
Now, is there anything else you want to leave the people with before we get out of here?
I just want to say, one, I want to thank all the people that show me love. You know what I mean? Sometimes I think that part of the game is forgotten and people get away from that. Like, it's a lot of people that support me.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's part of the reason why I still do this. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to say shout out to the people that support me. And just, stay tuned because it's just the beginning. You know what I mean? I got 1,000 songs. Like, not just like saying the number. I record for real. Like, Rug will tell you, it was times he went to record in Batcave Radio. He let me stay in the studio. I record myself. He come back in the next day for a session. It's like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm still in there recording.
Hey, so, man, that's that dedication, though, man.
Yeah, I do it. So, just be on the lookout for LoudPacc P, man.
Okay, man. Well, everybody, make sure y'all tune in. LoudPacc P on all platforms. If you aren't familiar with him, remember I told you got to get familiar with him. He's one of the guys going into this next year that's going to really make a mark. It's your boy Rick Dange here with HipHopSince1987, signing out with LoudPacc P.
Log on.
Shout my HipHopSince1987 niggas. HipHopSince1987.com.
Now, you're definitely somebody that came up with a formula that's not typical to what's going on in rap in 2020. Heavy lyrics, concept, standing on something. Did you think that it was going to work for you the way it's been working like right now? The way it's taking off?
Nah, I didn't. To be honest with you, I tell niggas all the time, I was in a situation and I seen Western Conway doing what they was doing, and that's family, so them niggas put me in.
Right.
And by them pulling me in, I'm like, okay, at least if nothing happened, I'm gonna get some money